It's a natural disaster many people in this country will never forget. In August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall in southeast Louisiana as a Category 3 storm.
The National Weather Service reports nearly 1,400 people died, making it one of the deadliest hurricanes to hit the United States. It's also the costliest hurricane in history at $125 billion in damage.
Katrina caused enormous destruction when the systems meant to protect the city of New Orleans crumbled under the hurricane's force. But in the last 2 decades, the Army Corps of Engineers spent billions of dollars to upgrade those safeguards.
Reporter John Snell takes a look back at what went wrong and how the system has since improved. Plus, he introduces us to some New Orleanians who never gave up hope of rebuilding.
Not far from the shoreline of Lake Pontchartrain, this is the sound of recovery. In New Orleans' Lakeview neighborhood, heavily flooded during Hurricane Katrina, there's no missing the Main Squeeze smoothie store or the message about how happy they are to be here.
Made a bold statement that we are here for you.
Co-owner Brittany Adams will tell you Lakeview has roared back to life.
Oh, it's vibrant, it's moving, it's very popular now.
20 years ago, New Orleans levees failed catastrophically. Floodwaters inundated 80% of the city.
The levee that you see here is the new levee built after the Great.
Sandy Rosenthal founded levees.org and made it her mission to keep the full story of the levees in the nation's memory, that people see Katrina as not simply a natural disaster.
About the same number of people died as during 9/11 or the Titanic. This is every bit as big an event in our nation's history, in our world's history.
The Army Corps of Engineers tested New Orleans levees in the 1990s, but failed to recognize the flimsy nature of the soils beneath them. In fact, problems with the levees go all the way back to the 1800s. Some of the earliest levees were barely speed bumps, small mounds using whatever material was handy, not the hard clay the Corps eventually used when it raised those levees.
So they put reasonable material on top of whatever was there from the late 1800s. And built what looked like a levee.
Civil engineer H.J. Bosworth explains the levees could not withstand the enormous pressure Katrina's surge exerted on them, and sheet pilings driven into the earth turned out to be too short.
When the water came up, the water went through the unsuitable material, which was deep beneath the earth, put pressure against the canal or the levee, and the levee slid towards people's houses and broke into pieces.
Other levees failed when they were overtopped. In the aftermath, the Corps spent nearly $15 billion installing 150 miles of improved levees and flood walls. The most prominent feature might be what locals nicknamed the Great Wall, a 2-mile-long, 26-foot-high surge barrier, a feat of modern engineering built in the soupy conditions of a marsh with piles driven a couple hundred feet into the earth.
Oh, it's a whole different world than what it was when Hurricane Katrina hit.
Chris Dunn is chief of the engineering division of the Corps' New Orleans district.
Surge was able to penetrate deep into the city.
2 decades later, New Orleans is a safer place during hurricanes. Yet the city confronts many of the same challenges that plagued it long before Katrina. Like many older cities, New Orleans copes with an aging infrastructure, including water pipes over a century old. In the last 5 years, the population shrank by more than 20,000 people. Across South Louisiana, homeowners confront a financial storm of escalating insurance rates following other hurricanes. But there's progress on other fronts. Long one of America's murder capitals, violent crime today is falling, the homicide rate at a 50-year low. The tourism industry is thriving. Café du Monde was the first major tourist attraction to reopen following Katrina, 53 days after the storm. Owner Jay Roman remembers his family being committed to getting back in business.
The discussion was how fast can we do this? It was never about whether we do it or not.
Like so many others, Roman says he braced for a long haul, but he also knew New Orleans would be back.
Another part of the new $15 billion system upgrades, the Army Corps of Engineers built the world's largest pumping station, which can divert water from the intercoastal waterway during tropical events. The goal is to provide 100-year storm protection or to guard against a storm with a 1% chance of striking in any given year. But officials don't plan on stopping there. In December 2024, Congress authorized the Army Corps of Engineers to look at providing a 200-year level of protection. The Corps is now analyzing the cost versus the benefits.